Today on The Gold Standard.
If you're looking for diversification and safety, and if you're looking for a way to hold your buying power from all of these other threats that are going on, what could you do about it is you can take some of those paper, fiat, digital fiat, whatever you want to call it, money out of thin air, monopoly money, fake money, and you can convert it into something that's real, something that's been real money for thousands of years, which is physical gold.
This is The Gold Standard from Midas Gold Group with Kenneth Russo. Hello, I'm Dave Dino. Welcome to The Gold Standard, your source for secure investment opinion and information on the advantages of purchasing and owning precious metals. Whether you're a novice investor or an experienced collector, this is the program that gives you a realistic weekly perspective on the state of the economy, reliable information about using precious metals such as gold, silver, and platinum to safeguard your wealth, and remarkable details about specific precious metal coins and bullion. Ken Russo is a senior vice president at Midas Gold Group, and his peers characterize him as a straight shooter who will work harder for you than anyone else. Ken, as always, it is a pleasure to join you again this week.
Nice to be with you as always, Dave.
Our topic is the threat of international digital currency to the value of the dollar. That's a long title, but it's one that I think can affect every person listening today. Ken, let's begin where we left off in another program with a warning from a recent headline that stated, "The Treasury just gave the strongest indication yet that the U.S. will get a digital dollar, but expert says proliferation of what are called CBDCs poses a risk to the dollar." What do you make of this?
Well, Dave, it's definitely a complex topic, and it's one reason why people should consider diversifying and why they should consider some gold. You know, it could be digital currency. It could be our administration's dropping the ball. It could be enormous deficit spending. It could be the election fraud from 2020. It could be the banking crisis that's looming. It could be that China is looking to surpass our world reserve currency status. Not to mention, we don't trust our money. Our money could be worthless. All of these things are reasons why we need to be very careful. But we've been warning, Dave, about the U.S. going to a digital currency system and what that means to our financial privacy. And yes, folks, privacy does matter. But this article also points out, Dave, how it could devalue the American dollar significantly. It quotes Nellie Liang, Undersecretary for Domestic Finance at the Treasury. We all know that our Treasury Secretary is Janet Yellen, and she's been wrong since she's been in politics, so she's got a tremendous track record, who said that the technological development of a CBDC, which is central bank digital currency for people who are just tuning in, is underway so that if policymakers give the go-ahead, the project could come to fruition rapidly. Remember, we talked about, Dave, how they're going to ease us into this. You know, even the state of California, which I'm a little embarrassed to say that I do live in, Governor Newsom is very excited about digital wallet technology. And it seems to me like first go around, our identification or our driver's license is going to be on our telephone. And our telephone is obviously data collection and it's surveillance. So that's where our money is headed to, Dave. This is the strongest statement we've heard so far from actually our government and the danger of a national digital currency. And like I said, it's referred to as a central bank digital currency or a CBDC. And the real danger is that our financial privacy will become nothing more than a chapter in history books, you know, a thing of the past. Not to mention, Dave, they can turn our money on and off whenever they want, especially if we're of a certain organization or of a certain viewpoint that they don't like. We saw that happen in Canada. And not to mention, when this whole system is reset, what is our money actually going to be worth? There's a lot of stuff here that's going on, and it's very intricate and involved. And we all know whenever the government tries to take on a task that's intricate and involved, they end up spending too much on it, and they always mess it up anyway. But this is our money. You know, it's all of our financial transactions, all of them. And it will become a matter of banking records that the government could literally monitor or look into if they, decide to do so, or if they have some made-up reason. They're weaponizing many things these days, like the FBI, and weaponizing our money, and they're also weaponizing the banking system and the
Mm-hmm.
IRS. So there's loads of stuff that's going on. It's all these other reasons, Dave, for us to diversify, pull some money out of the system. And right now, gold is always the crisis precious metal. It's always done very well, typically in a bad economy. It's always done well when they print money. It's always done well when our money continues to be devalued. All of this stuff we're talking about with digital currencies and monitoring and financial privacy, is that really what we want, Dave, for our money?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a money system and a financial system and a banking system that we really can trust? And I would say, heck no. And that's the reason why we really own gold.
Ken, in line with this, we had the alarming headline this last week: long-awaited Fed digital payment system to launch in July. Ken, why should we be concerned about this? I mean, they're touting it out as just a very convenient way for the government to send our tax refunds to us, or for us to go ahead and pay our taxes efficiently. Why should we be concerned about this?
Well, Dave, and also people are getting really comfortable with Zelling money all around. There's a payment system, Zelle, and it's a way to get people to be comfortable with digital money. And it's a way for them to step away from trying to be private. Cash is private. Gold is private. If I walk into a gold dealer and I bring them some cash and I go home with my one or two gold coins, no one knows I was there. It's privacy. And the government doesn't want that. They think that they're missing out on tax revenues. That's why they're hiring all these new IRS agents. They think they can generate taxable revenue from American citizens by harassing us and by looking into our own accounts. But this is a tangible step, Dave, FedNow, in switching our economy completely to a central bank digital currency system. And like I said, it's called FedNow. We're getting a lot of feedback from our clients, very, very concerned about what's going on. But like we've talked about many times, Dave, it's inevitably where we're headed. The financial system is wobbling. The financial system more than likely is going to be torn down. And wouldn't it be a lot easier to tear it down and reset it if it was all just a push of a button or a click of a mouse? And with a fully digital system, that's what they're going to be able to control. And that's why we're headed in that direction. So no more privacy, a lot of monitoring, a lot of resetting. Who knows what it's going to be worth? Who knows what our money's going to be worth? We're going to have to watch this, Dave, very, very carefully. But more importantly, we need to make some moves, and we need to make those moves now. And what we're talking about is pulling some money out of this system while you still can privately before all this rolls out. And what's a better way to hold your wealth than in physical gold and some silver? And that's, what we talk about every week, Dave. And the digital currency system is just another reason why people should be doing this right now.
And we're going to talk more about that in just a moment. But a reminder here that you are listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And our topic today is the threat of international digital currency to the value of the dollar. Ken, we're going to look into the tentacles of the digital currency movement on the international stage in a moment. But first, how does precious metal, specifically gold and silver, how does that protect our financial privacy? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, that's what it does by definition, Dave. Gold's been money for thousands of years. It's been a store of value. It's something that you could own outright where there's no leverage. It's not connected to any third party. There's no third party counter risk. It's a medium of exchange. Who knows if we're going to need gold in the future for money or whatnot? I don't think so. I mean, there's always been some sort of living expense money. I mean, even if it's paper fiat or if it's digital fiat, we still have some money in the system because we still have some living expenses. But if you have some assets that are just sitting there and they're being eaten away by inflation and eaten away by this devaluation and with all this money printing and it's losing a lot of value due to all this fake money and you're afraid that it's going to disappear due to debt and due to a system that is just drowning in its own debt that it's created over the last few decades, then you have to pull it out and you have to put it into something. And if you put it into something that's liquid, that is pretty much you know the value. You see the price of gold, you see the price of silver every day, you see if it's going up or if it's going down and reflecting what our dollar is losing. That's what it does.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be there when you need it. So I would tell you, Dave, that's the diversification that gold and silver supplies. It always has. It's referred to as a crisis asset because it's done very well during a crisis. We're definitely going to have a financial or a political or a social crisis, or maybe all of them over the next few years. And it would make zero sense to keep all of your money in such a risky, over-leveraged, toxic market and environment that's just ready to just implode. On the next announcement, it's just ready to nosedive. And I don't want to have all of my money in a system like that. So it would make a lot of sense to diversify it. And gold and silver, Dave, has been that go-to diversification forever. It's just that advisors and bankers and politicians don't want to talk about it because they don't like us to have privacy. They don't want us to have something where our wealth is private. Well, we still can do it, folks. It's within our rights. And if you have the advantage to do that, and if you have the privilege to diversify, especially with Midas Gold Group and into gold and silver specifically, I can't see a reason why somebody wouldn't want to at least do a little something of their nest egg, Dave. Get it out of this dangerous system and get it into the safety of gold and into the safety of some silver.
And we're going to continue our topic, the threat of international digital currency to the value of the dollar, just a little bit later in the program. And we'll highlight several tangible ways that you can convert your wealth into the security of gold. But first, though, a reminder that you're listening to The Gold Standard with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And coming up, we're going to look at a specific precious metal that you can use to safeguard your wealth. And that's coming up right after this.
At the start of 2022, you could invest in almost anything and make money. The stock market was still growing, real estate was high, and cryptocurrency was the rage. What a difference a year makes. 2023 is going to be a year of economic upheaval, according to many economists. Sebastian Gorka here. The Biden regime is pressing ahead with its leftist agenda, ignoring the growing signs of a recession. But many economists are warning of massive layoffs and huge stock market losses, which is why I recommend calling Midas Gold Group to safeguard your wealth with the stability of gold while you can. Gold holds its value when economies fail, guarding against the ravages of inflation and the ruin of a recession. Talk with veteran-owned Midas Gold Group. Go to MidasGoldGroup.com, or better yet, call 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. It's gold you can hold. Call now, 855-322-GOLD.
And we're back with more of The Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino, and our topic today is the threat of international digital currency to the value of the dollar. By the way, if you live in the Los Angeles or the Phoenix area, you can actually come and visit one of our local offices to meet with us in person. For the address and the directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. And for those of you listening in other cities, just call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, it's time for our precious metal spotlight of the week, and today we have the gold Valcambi Combi Bar. Ken, it's been a while since we talked about this very unique way of owning gold. And why is that?
Yeah, the unique credit card size gold chocolate bar. That's what it kind of looks like, right, Dave? A true engineering marvel. It's a combi bar. It's a breakable gold bar. In this particular instance, we're talking about the 50-grammer, but it also comes in a 20-grammer and a 100-grammer. And rather amazing to have a gold bar similar to the size, like I said, of a credit card, Dave. Real thin. Real high tech, a lot of technology in this particular product. And the Gold Valcambi Combi Bar sheets, they also come in silver, are the perfect resource for investors who are seeking, Dave, a convenient way to obtain gold in divisible increments at a pretty decent price.
Can you maybe give us a word picture of its appearance?
Yeah, pretty much a combi bar is a full sheet of 50 grams of gold, Dave, which is made up of 24 karat gold purity, which is 0.9999, 50 times 1 gram bar grids, so to speak. Design, Dave, is fashioned in such a way that each cubic square can be broken into an exact 1 gram of gold without getting any loss of the gold material itself. So like I said, the technology is really state of the art, very, very high quality. And these square miniature gold bars are strong enough to keep each gold bar intact with each other, Dave. The design of each bar, believe it or not, is individually stamped, even though they're very small, with the international hallmark logo mentioning its weight, element, and purity, along with the Valcambi logo design. The best part of the individual 1 gram gold bars, Dave, is that they can be sold, exchanged, gifted, or even used for any transaction. It provides the investor extreme flexibility during a crisis. So there's gold products, Dave, that people own for investment purposes. There's gold products that people own for potential transactional purposes. There's gold products that people own for just wealth preservation or protection against the falling dollar. But I believe very strongly that the Valcambi Gold Combi Bar should at least be a consideration or a part of every disaster preparedness kit, because it is sort of a usable potential form of gold.
Ken, you mentioned that it's 24 carats of gold, 0.9999 pure. Is it also eligible for a gold IRA account?
It is, Dave, and they can be ordered. The 50 gram or the 20 gram or the 100 gram are very popular combi bars. You could own them with some liquid funds and, take delivery of them. Or if you wanted to roll over a retirement account or transfer an existing IRA, you could convert those paper funds into a gold product. And the Valcambi Gold Combi Bar, as well as the Silver Combi Bar, both qualify for the gold IRA, Dave.
Thank you, Ken. Coming up in a moment, we're going to continue our topic, the threat of international digital currency to the value of the dollar, with Ken Russo from Midas Gold Group. And that's coming up right after this.
2023 is going to be a year of economic upheaval, according to many economists. Sebastian Gorka here. Financial experts are warning of massive layoffs and huge stock market losses, which is why I recommend calling Midas Gold Group to safeguard your wealth with the stability of gold while you can. Gold holds its value when economies fail. Go to MidasGoldGroup.com, or better yet, call 855-322-GOLD. It's gold you can hold. Call 855-322-GOLD.
And we're back with the Gold Standard, brought to you by Midas Gold Group with Ken Russo. I'm Dave Dino, and our topic today is the threat of international digital currency to the value of the dollar. And as we have been saying, if you live in the Los Angeles or Phoenix area, we encourage you to visit our local office and meet with us in person. For the address and directions, just log on to our website, MidasGoldGroup.com, M-I-D-A-S, MidasGoldGroup.com. For those of you listening in other cities, call us directly at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. Now, let's get back to our topic. So far today, we have talked about the growing probability of American currency going digital with the loss of financial privacy and the real possibility of a devaluation. And we've seen how other countries are trying to gain dominance over the greenback to destroy America's economy, making their own central bank digital currency the new standard. But now, there is a growing movement by other countries to actually challenge the dollar's role on the world stage by developing their own central bank digital currency. So what's happening there, Ken?
Well, and we touched on it before, Dave. Experts say a proliferation of other CBDCs in other countries could impact the dollar's role on the world stage, as the world reserve currency. Of course it is, because other countries are developing their own digital currency systems. They're looking to use less dollar and more local currency in whatever form it is, either paper fiat or digital fiat. It's all garbage fiat. The dollar's supremacy, Dave, in global trade, it faces fresh challenges as several countries, are floating these plans to use local currencies in commerce. We mentioned Russia, Iran, China. They're all increasingly using their own currencies to transact, especially in oil trades. Russia's using even gold. China's using the yuan more and more, but it means less dollar. So that's the bottom line. So there are rising challenges to the greenback's dominance of international trade and investment flows. The dollar as the world reserve currency is headed in the wrong direction, which means less demand for the dollar, which means that it loses more value. Bad news for people like you and me, Dave, and everybody else that's listening out there. What could we do about it? Take some of those dwindling dollars and convert it into gold, something you could hold on to, something that will reflect what the dollar is losing.
Okay, Ken, currencies can be digitized internationally, possibly leading to a one-world currency. But as we have already mentioned, the good news to counter that is that the value, the worth of gold and silver are also recognized worldwide. And that does provide some protection against, as you have indicated, currency manipulation. Tell us again, because I really want to hear this, and I know people have tuned in along the way in the program today. Tell us again how owning gold and silver protect our cash savings and our investments.
Well, Dave, I mean, if you're looking for diversification and safety, and if you're looking for a way to hold your buying power from all of these other threats that are going on, what could you do about it is you can take some of those paper, fiat, digital fiat, whatever you want to call it, money out of thin air, monopoly money, fake money, and you can convert it into something that's real, something that's been real money for thousands of years, which is physical gold. So that's what we're talking about. It'll be there when you need it, Dave. And as all this other stuff plays out and our dollar loses significant value, the price of gold will reflect that at a much higher price. And we're starting to see that now. And folks, we haven't even started yet. Don't even worry about the price of gold. Our dollar's going to lose so much value because they're going to print so much. The price of gold could go to prices that we can't even imagine at this point. But that's not the reason why you should be doing it. You should be doing it for diversification. You should be doing it to protect your nest egg and to preserve your wealth. Is there anything else that we need to look for than gold and possibly a little silver? It's been the answer for thousands of years. It's the answer today too, Dave.
And I know that you make the process easy and reliable. You have done it for me. And our listeners, they can find out more by simply calling you and your folks over there at Midas Gold Group, right?
Well, Dave, it's what we know. Everybody's good at something. Everybody is, has a career. Everybody has an expertise. But when it comes to converting some old paper or old retirement accounts or some cash you have or some balances you have at the bank or some stocks or mutual funds or even bonds, take some of your chips off the table. Now's the best time to do it before it all kind of just caves in or, we have no more privacy left. Do it now. Give yourself a chance to survive the upcoming financial situation that's going to get real bad. Give yourself a chance to not lose all of your buying power when the markets collapse and the system just devalues our money beyond belief. Give yourself and your family a chance to at least protect what you've worked so hard for and what you've saved and you've invested in over the years. People have tried to do the right thing, but things have changed, folks. That's our opinion. We're not giving financial advice, but being a realist and seeing what's going on, and we've been right over the last decade, I don't see why this time is going to be any different. Take some of your money out of the system and put it into gold.
Ken, I have to say I value your opinion, and I really do appreciate the guidelines that you offer. That is going to bring us to the end of our time together today here on the Gold Standard with Ken Russo, brought to you by Midas Gold Group. A reminder, opinions given here are not intended to be specific to your investment strategy, but rather general information to give you a better understanding of investing in precious metals. For answers to your questions, call Midas Gold Group at 855-322-GOLD, 855-322-GOLD. By the numbers 855-322-4653. And the website is MidasGoldGroup.com. MIDAS, MidasGoldGroup.com. Something I'm always very proud to let you know is that the Midas Gold Group is America's #1 veteran-owned gold dealer, supporting veterans' causes with a portion of profits donated to the Wounded Warriors Project and the Semper Fi Fund. So your investment in your future is also an investment in the future of those who have bravely served the cause of freedom. Again, the number to call to speak directly with Midas Gold Group is 855-322-GOLD. Hey, Ken, thank you again for your time today. It's very valuable.
Well, thanks for your time, Dave. Protect your money and let's make America great again.
I like it. I'm Dave Dino. I hope you'll come and join us again next week at this same time for another edition of The Gold Standard.
The Gold Standard was brought to you by the Midas Gold Group.